Yo, what's up? My name is DJL7, and today I'm going to talk about the Jordan Neely situation from the perspective of someone who's an actual subway performer, street performer.
Check it out, y'all.
You're listening to the realest progressive media. DJL7.
So I prepared some notes, so let me refer to these as I read this. This is really quite a deep situation for myself. Now, the progressives you'll see are making a lot of noise about Jordan Neely, and they love him. You know why? Because he's dead. Are they going to help the living? Now, I have emailed prominent New York City progressive politicians about hiring street performers and subway performers for their campaigns to help this community, because let me tell you the truth. No one plays in the subway for their pride. Who doesn't want to be featured on a stage or booked as a headliner? Right? You go into that because things are tough. You need to find a way to pay that, to get food that day. Maybe pay the rent, anything. Honestly, it gets down to that level where you got to pay for food that day. You got to figure out a way to make it work. That's how real it is. Now, besides being a street performer, I'm also a street activist. And as a street activist, I recently got the Memphis DA, District Attorney, to drop charges on Memphis DSA co-chair Salamander Brandy for protesting the governor's new law discriminating against the trans community, well, really the drag queen community, because out here on these streets, we don't get to say I'm too good to accept your help. That's real. And as someone who's on these streets, I see which communities suffer more, who kind of ends up, right, on the streets because other people didn't have time to help them and all this other kind of thing. I see on the street level, I've been homeless, right, at the age of 16. I see how these people suffer, not just like on a TV. I see it with my own eyes. Now, the fact of the matter is that I've also worked with the disability community because as a, street activist and performer, I know it's like not to matter. And I work to demonstrate the deplorable state of accessible pedestrian signals. And have any of these progressive politicians worked on disability issues? They say they're about helping the vulnerable. I want them to prove it. Do their actions match their words? Or are they just spitting a bunch of rhetoric so they can, lift their noses high in the air and convince you to give them some money, which they're not going to share with someone like myself, which they did not, provide any. If would Jordan Neely would want to kill himself if progressive politicians had hired him to be Michael Jackson and to do the moonwalk at their events? Probably not. Probably not. But they don't care about you until they can use you for their own twisted, sick, sinister agenda. Sad but true. I actually take care of these people out here. These politicians, we're going to get more into some of that, yeah? I have a playlist where I actually help promote other subway musicians and artists. You know why? Because I actually care about them. I provide direct information so you can book them directly. I'm not trying to take a cut. That's not what this is about. I'm someone who's in the struggle and trying to help other people that's struggling just like me. I'm a worker, as in terms of helping others. I'm not an executive or a boss. How does DSA take care of the workers? Not very well, I could tell you. Who's the workers in the DSA? Do you know, or do you only know about the candidates who were often making six figures as some kind of, in some not-for-profit organization? That's real. Right now, as an activist, I'm helping two men fighting wrongful convictions. One incarcerated for 10 years, Nolan Farrell, with proof of his innocence, and the other incarcerated for 32 years, Reverend Keith Gadsden. Once again, being homeless, who ends up? People that are out of prison, stuff like that. I got to know this community. They're around, They're around me. And those are my brothers and sisters, for real. All y'all people, out there fighting for these people, how close are you to them? Yeah, I recently went to the National Innocence Project, where actually I was there with Vincent Moto, the first man freed on DNA evidence, and I recognized Vincent right away. The people at the the cushy lawyers, they didn't even recognize him. Yeah, after he introduced himself, they recognized the name. They're like, "Oh, it's you!" I knew right away. That's my community. That's who I'm close to. Yeah, these people all have problems and struggle, but there's a difference between the way I help people and the way that these rich people and these bougie people help others. It's a fact. Now, where are these progressive saviors in my ongoing work to help the poor, the disabled, and those who have been victims of the system? I challenge, right? Look, I'm going to provide links to my work, right? Go ahead, take a look. Are these are really progressive issues, right? Supposedly. Where are these candidates as in terms of helping? In fact, they're not. It's not just that they're not helping. They are literally suppressing my work. They are working desperately to replace me in all fields of activism so they can continue on with the corrupt bullshit and make sure that I remain poor. They want to make sure that I am without resources and without help. They want to create astroturf activists who will enable a sick Harvey Weinstein culture of sexual abuse and abuse of the poor and the unattractive. That's why you see them not really helping people with disabilities. If they cared about the people who were really struggling, right, they would probably be helping those people out. Last night, I was invited to give a presentation at the Queens Village Republican Club, the oldest Republican club in the country. Now, I still stand with the trans community and the right for drag queens to perform publicly, but they still allow me to present as a featured speaker at their event. I'm not even white. Why do they allow me to present? When we look at the, I thought they were racist, right? When we look at the progressive community, do you know any Asian American male activists? Do you know any Asian American activists in general? Right? Are we too lazy, ugly, or stupid to be activists? I want to know, right? Who's really racist? Are the Republicans perfect? Oh, hell no. But they are giving me an opportunity, while the Democrats, the Greens, the Libertarians, I've done so much work for them. But what they do mostly is suppress me to give their friends and their enablers jobs. Sad but true. I was invited to this event by Ara Moody, a Haitian American. When's the last time you heard about progressive helping Haitians? I want to know. The Clinton Foundation has taken advantage of this community, and to protect the bullshit, Democrats are working to suppress minorities that don't matter or that are in the way. It's not just the Haitians. It's the Koreans, the Asian Americans, those with disabilities, and more. Despite repeated requests from progressive leaders to help with actually helping Salamander Brandy, the co-chair of Memphis DSA, a worker, footage exists on Christopher Leon Johnson's channel as to how progressive leaders called the cops on me to protect their opportunity to spew rhetoric while not providing actual actions on those words. It is disgusting and it is wrong. There are a couple of exceptions. Zoran Mamdani has helped in some regard with disabilities issues and actually sent a letter to the DA, but it was me who sent the initial letter. You know why? Because I've actually had to deal with legal matters for not just others but myself personally, with no money and no support. No donations for a lawyer, no press, nothing. Right? Yeah, by the way, no donations were conducted to help Salamander Brandy. No press was made available to help Salamander Brandy. They didn't even put her on the newsletter. Couldn't be bothered, or it was inconvenient for some weird reason. Let's be real. When have Zoran or his staff ever experienced this type of situation? They haven't. They don't know this life. Kristen Gonzalez, right? Yeah, Tiffany Caban. These are people that have often come from Ivy League colleges. Often they've had six-figure salaries. They've never really struggled like this. They don't really know. They might feel some sense of compassion, but when they see actual poor people, they're scared because they don't really understand this. They don't really understand the problems, and they don't know. They mean well. And once again, Zoran people, I don't want to really, criticize them too hard. They're doing more than others. It's a fact. But look them up, right? Yeah. If all your staff is an echo chamber of pretty middle-class individuals, that's what they are, and that's not right the worst thing, then that's the problem that will be prioritized, and the response will be reflect that background and that perspective. But I could get down with Zoran because at least his staff is responsive. At least they're willing to listen, right? And I can work with that. But Tiffany Caban be smooching up on Akeem Browder, but has she helped those with disabilities? Is she helping the wrongfully incarcerated, right? Not the ones who are already recognized and get to be someone in the progressive world. People that are currently going through this issue now. You'll see us at you could watch the footage that I have on my channel. You'll see me in front of National Action Network several times, right? Yeah, she's there. I'm asking for help. There's been no response. Maybe she could say she didn't get the emails that I sent. I went to her in person, and no, okay. Some minorities, let's be real about this. Some minorities are more valuable and attractive than others, and some causes have a greater payoff than others. As an Asian American man that is so often pushed to the back of the line for addressing my own issues and concerns, to be recognized, I've gotten friendly with the others who are also perpetually pushed to the back of the line by those compassionate progressives. Y'all care about Jordan Neely, right? Where were you when he was alive? Where were you as in terms of, right, I challenge you to show me. Go ahead. Go ahead. I challenge these progressive candidates to start booking these performers for their campaign events and actually address the poverty and disregard that leads to the mental stress. I don't need some rich-ass doctor who, let's be real, okay, just like these candidates and these progressives, right? These six-figure, candidates, right? Kristen Gonzalez, Tiffany Caban, AOC, whatever, right? Come from Ivy League schools. I don't need them to medicate me or give me therapy. Some doctor who, like these rich progressives who do not understand and cannot relate to our problems, will be willing partners and enforcers of the perpetual hierarchy where some groups get help and others do not. You're telling me that I'm starving, and then instead of giving me a job or helping me get food, you want to give me therapy? That's your solution. The medical community in this country has not fought for affordable medication. They have the lowest outcomes and the highest prices out of all of developed nations. And you would thrust this broken medical system onto the poor before giving us a job, before recognizing our talent and uplifting us, before listening to us as in terms of addressing our issues. You would push us into poverty. Yeah. All my work as a progressive activist, they are working to make sure that I do not get platform. They are making sure to not ever uplift me or talk about my work in order to protect the succession line for their chosen enablers. It's sick and it's wrong. And just like Amazon, their solution, right, coming from some cushy ass executive is similar, right? They want to put us in a corny ass meditation chamber, which is appropriate for people that are not experiencing poverty and disregard, right? You're a middle-class person, you're an executive at, yeah, you go to your meditation chamber, right? You're not dealing with starvation, and you're like, oh, this felt really good. Oh, well, let's make the poor people go through that too. Your solutions are not appropriate for us. What else is funny? It's funny how we don't hear from Jordan's friends that knew him, his family, or from other street subway performers. That's because the rhetoric has nothing to do with us. We are being used as pawns in a culture war and being used as disposable fodder for those with sinister agendas. Talking about the culture war, let's go back to trans people again, right? There's trans people that are out there that are, that are not sexual predators. And they're just humans just like the rest of us. And what really jobs are available to them? There are drag queen shows that could be, I guess, appropriate for children. There are some that are definitely not, yeah? Or the community should really get to decide that, not me and not you, the community, right? So, I've heard some bad things, but, I think that New York City has done a pretty decent job of, doing background checks and this other kind of thing. And, once again, I don't want to piss off Republicans, but, I'm going to just tell you the truth as I see it. I'm not here to, push some kind of agenda, someone else's agenda. I'm just here for the truth. Those who demonize Republicans and call them white supremacists, and look, Salamander Brandy, she's in Tennessee, and down there it's a different situation, right? I believe that down there it's different from the way it is here in New York. I'm talking about New York. I'm not talking about Tennessee. And she tells me that it's different down there. I believe it. I see some things going on down there. We just saw Tyree Nichols, right? And actually I had a panel with her and other activists from around the country to talk about how to solve that situation. Once again, this work was suppressed by progressive candidates and their organizations in order to protect their succession lines. They don't really care about solving these situations. They care about making it look like they are. But even despite the fact that I openly support trans people, they can recognize my work. I challenge Democrats, Greens, Libertarians to follow the lead of the Queens Village Republican Club and to embrace others who may not have the same views. Am I saying the Republicans are perfect? Hell no. Right? But they actually were willing to uplift and signal boost those who actually await justice, such as myself. They were actually willing to listen to a subway performer and give that person a chance to be heard. These, I'll pull their receipts in a hot minute. Tiffany, Kristen, AOC. What are you want to talk big? Go ahead, talk big. But when you go into the Met Gala, are you helping street performers? When you do help a street performer, you're going to find one who has nothing to say politically, who's not like myself, who is not addressing this issue. Prove me wrong. Yeah? You can find, go ahead. I have a list of all the performers on my channel, and I hope that they get an opportunity. I won't hate on them for that, right? Yeah? Go ahead. They're actually really struggling. They actually need the help. And if that's the way to get help, that's the horrible reality for, actual poor people under the help of these progressives. I challenge, right? And I'm not saying that they're all bad, right? They sometimes they mean well. I'm challenging us to do some self-introspection and to once again to uplift and signal boost those who await justice. I challenge you to take care of the living and not to focus on the dead who cannot speak about your neglect and ongoing disregard. Yeah. Now, I also want to recognize the work of, Ara Moody. She's actually the one who actually invited me to speak at that club right there. She's actually Haitian American. When's the last time you heard about progressive helping Haitians? I want to know. The Clinton Foundation has taken advantage of this community. And to protect the BS, Democrats are working to suppress minorities that don't matter. It's time for you to stop buying into the simple, easy activism and rhetoric of these manipulators and start looking around yourself and ask yourself, why is everybody around me, right? Where's the people with disabilities? Where's the Asian Americans? Asian American men especially, right? We look at the choices of these progressives like AOC, Tiffany Caban, and they select against Asian American men, for real, right? They say they're not racist. They totally are. Where's their... They say they stand up for trans people. They say they're about here to protect, right? Drag Queen Story Hour, right? I have this documented on my channel. I actually talked to the people who are on the other side, right? I heard about the shootings in Colorado. I said, let me talk to people who have a problem with the Drag Queen Story Hour. And I openly, you can see on the video on my channel, I said I support Drag Queen Story Hour. And I walked on the right side, and they didn't cut me down. They appreciated the fact that I was willing to at least listen to their concerns. It's that type of behavior that will prevent violence. As someone who's on these streets, you see this scar on my face? You see that right there? I have a broken, I have broken bones in my face from getting beat down. These progressive organizations never helped me. It's a fact. It's a fact. So, a lot of people out there, no organization is real. The organization is the sum of its parts. People say Republican is this and Democrat is that. Republicans are the party of Lincoln, and I don't want you to think that this is actually a endorsement of the Republicans in general. It's not. And I know they'll probably hurt me with Republicans. It might not, actually, right? But the thing is that the Queens Village Republican Club, the individuals in that club made a choice. They made a choice to help someone like myself. And other groups can also make the same choice, right? These groups are not monoliths. Everybody in their own organization can make their own choice. So right now, later on today, I'm going to this event with Christopher Marte, right? Yeah, progressive. I like him better than Susan Lee and, the other people that are running, right? But there's going to be music and entertainment at this, the skating event, right? Yeah. Is he going to book a street musician? Would he book a progressive activist like myself, right? DSA, they just had their May Day event, right? Who performed at the May Day event? Was it anybody who's a street performer or, an activist like myself who actually helps their members? Like, such as Carmen Bellichew, a lady with brain cancer who's fighting eviction? No. I volunteer my own time to actually help their members, the workers, but they don't want that. They want me to just petition for their candidates, for their rich, cushy-ass people. Code Pink, they're actually making sure that I don't get to... They're telling everybody to exclude me from the anti-war movement. These white women making $90,000 a year, making sure that I never get booked for anything, making sure that nobody knows about my activism, even though I'm actually out here helping people, even though I'm actually a generational war victim, to protect their money so they can keep making $90,000 a year, often more. I never thought that that the first political club that would, signal boost me would be actually the Republicans. And it's actually quite, it feels strange. It feels weird, yeah. But once again, people on the streets don't get to reinforce their own biases, right? If you do that, you're going to starve. You better figure, right, you are forced to deal with reality in a different way. It's time for, right, these other organizations to start listening to people who are victims of the system, people affected by the system, and stop listening to these thought leaders, these bougie-ass people, right, yeah? Like the people that you'll see featured on Andrew Yang's Forward, just a bunch of bougie-ass cats, right? Middle-class people who have never suffered, right, but say that they have the solutions for the poor. It's like, I could give some other examples. I'm sure that you could think of them, right? But probably the one that comes immediately to mind is, it's like having white people and black people in a room. I can't say Asian American people can't really relate to that, or Latinos, right? People can't relate to that, right? So let's take white people and black people, put them in a room together and say, you know what? We're going to figure out how to get justice for the black people with only white leaders and only white input. And we're not going to listen to the black people. And somehow we're going to achieve racial justice in this form and fashion. Don't believe it. There's these rich people, they have the money and the resources to control the narrative. It's up to you. It's up to you, the watcher right now. It's up to you to take a more critical look and to stop just buying into whatever they're selling you, and to stop being a consumer and to be an active thinker and to be an activist yourself. Yeah. Otherwise, it's never going to get better. That's a fact. These middle-class people are cowards. They're willing to sell out the poor on a regular basis. That's why the rich people put them in their positions. I want to thanks again to Ara Moody, Dion Powell, and other people out here that's helping to signal boost me. Once again, it doesn't have to be over between me and the progressives and the Democrats. Y'all could platform me at any time. Go ahead. I'm waiting. Or Libertarians, Greens. I've been a Green since the 90s. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
It's a dark day in our nation when high-level authorities will seek to use every method to silence dissent. The truth must be told.
And if you want the truth, you need to check out independent media producers just like myself, DJ L7. You should subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications when I release a new video.
Truth of these
We are
words
on all
is
the major
beyond doubt.
platforms. That includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Unfortunately, we have definitely seen that these mainstream outlets will cave to corporate interests, so we encourage you to join our independently moderated communities of Reddit and Discord. We also encourage you to subscribe to us on BitChute Daily Motion so you can see the content that YouTube doesn't want us to let you see. Hey, now it's time for the most important part of the video. That's right. It's time for us to tell you about the Taking Action Group. Do you need an activist? Or maybe there's no activists around willing to help you with your cause and you need to learn to become an activist. That's exactly why we're here. Every week we get up with people from across the nation, in fact even sometimes internationally, and we develop strategies and a game plan to address the issues that are affecting all of us. Every week myself from New York City and of course my co-host Lisa from Los Angeles provide a coast-to-coast perspective on what's going on in the country. If you want to donate to help out with expenses, travel, equipment, stuff like that, then I definitely appreciate it, and you can hit us off at Venmo or PayPal. Thanks a lot. Hey, by the way, we also have a merch store, so check it out. Oh my goodness, it seems like you've reached the end of the video, so make sure you check out some of our other videos, make sure you subscribe. This is your last chance to do so thanks a lot, and looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment below if you have any questions or issues you'd like me to address. And if you're an activist, the time to make things happen is now.